Says starting. Oh.
Live from YMSL Studios. Welcome to Week 5 edition of the Dougless Report. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia, with NRJ to my left, as usual. And Norman, what an exciting week in the YMSL once again. And now we're starting to see some teams take shape, and we're starting to see the haves and the have-nots after some parity the first few weeks.
After 2 weeks of everybody basically being 500, we're finally starting to see some of the better teams gain that separation. And at the top of the list on the standings, and in almost everybody's mind, is Max Sutton and the Magical Mystery Tour. This team seems to have it all. They have Jeffrey Saka on the mound, pitching like it's 1989 again. And, they have the speedy outfield of Zach Ashkenazi in left field, Joe Chira in center, and then Elliot Saka or Steven Safdie in right. They have an alternate over there. And then they got Jeffrey Saka on the mound, and they have a great, quick offense. They have power. They have speed. They seem to have it all right now.
Really, when you talk about that team, really the pitching and the defense is lights out. I mean, you talk about the speed of the outfield, but the infield with Nathan Matesh at third and Max Sutton, and to me the biggest deal in the draft, Moni Batty at second.
Yeah,
putting Gold Glove numbers, and either Steven Safdie or Elliot Saka or playing first, or Labo even.
And don't forget Isaac Gamal at short center, who may have been the steal of the draft as well.
Yeah, there's a couple. But really, Max, we talked about it all year. Everybody talks about getting positioned for the first round pick, and the second round, really his depth he got was from the middle rounds, and he did an outstanding job. Him and his GM, Sammy Sane Sutton.
Yes. Where has Insane been, by the way?
He's in the insane asylum.
Okay, well, hopefully, I mean, this league without him and RP in the same year is major change. And
we'll see who's next on that list.
Uh-oh, watch out. So basically, Max made the trade with Rockford at the draft, and he did not get a first-round pick. He got 2 seconds and 2 thirds. So we all know what he did with the seconds with Joe Chira, Zach Ashkenazi. Spoke about it over and over. But he got so lucky that Jeffrey Saka was available in the middle of the third round. He got his top pitcher on his list. He did not have to get the second tier or the third tier or anything like that. He got Jeffrey Saka, and then he got, behind these speedy guys, the power bat in Steven Safdie.
Right.
Whose bat, by the way, was a point of controversy this week.
We'll talk about that also. Saka, for 15, 20 years being a first, second round pick. So for him sliding to the third, just made that team that much deeper.
So he made the trade. He made the good picks in the second and third. But like you said, he really made his draft and made his team with the later rounds with Moni and Batesh and Gamal and
Elliot Saka.
Another great.
I don't know why Elliot Saka after last year he still went to 8th round, 9th round. I don't even know what it was. Moni slipped to the 6th. Just amazing. Playing second base looks like a natural over there.
So Moni has now played third, short, and second in 3 years in the league.
So it could be first base next year.
He's going to play first and then maybe come to pitch.
I think he found his position at second. He's got a great arm. He's he's playing outstanding. They're very deep team. And Jeffrey, as you mentioned, 3 consecutive weeks with pitching shutouts.
Amazing, 3 consecutive weeks. This week was the tightest game of all. It was a 2-0 affair over on Memorial 1 against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Not exactly Murderers Row in that lineup. A couple of murderers, but no Murderers Row. But you're talking about a team that's really struggling offensively. They're just having major problems right now. Can't manufacture runs, and nobody's really timely hits are not there. So
this game, you had Mikey on the mound versus Jeffrey Saka, 0-0 game. The Magical Mystery Tour gets a man on, and then Elliot Saka hits a long home run to make it 2-0. And this is early in the game, maybe third inning, something like that. And boom, that was it. Like, the game should not end over there at 2-0 because somebody hit a home run. but the Turtles were unable to get a man past second base in game one. Unable to get a man past second base. Jeffrey Saka was dominant. There were very few hard hit balls, and the Turtles just, they gave up the 2 runs and then just let it go. I mean, to their credit, their D did hold up the rest of the game, but there was absolutely no offense to speak of in that first game.
Really, Mikey pitching outstanding this year once again. So really, there's not much more you could ask for, giving up 2-3 runs a game.
I mean, he gave up 2 runs in the first game, gave up 4 runs in the second game, and he got swept. 6 runs in 2 games. This is, I believe they've had a couple of low-scoring losses already this year, so it's got to be frustrating, not just for him, but for them. The offense as well has to be very frustrated. And they need some sort of spark. Now, in game 2, I thought they got that because they were down 4-0, and they looked like they were just going to lay down and die, to tell you the truth. It was did not seem like a comeback was imminent, but their bottom of the lineup, which has not done much this year, they got a couple of men on. Ralph Matute started it with an infield hit. Jack Zolta got a base hit. Michael Rishti, who they picked up, who has done absolutely nothing so far, he got a base hit. They scored a run and then another run. Now it's 4-2, and they managed to turn the lineup with only 1 out. So now they have Eddie Rishti leading off. There's 1 out. There's bases loaded, and they're down 4-2. And we're late in the game. We're talking, I think it's the top of the 6th inning or something like that. And this is their chance to come back against the best team in the league. They lost game 1. They didn't score. They finally scored 2 runs. This is after a team meeting, no less. And the bottom of their lineup gets on and scores runs, and Eddie Rishti is up. Jeffrey Saka gets ahead of him 1 and 2 counts, and he popped him up to the pitcher.
Wow.
Ton of spin on the ball. Jeffrey Saka squeezed it tight for that ever-important second out of the inning. Eddie Rishti gets a base hit there like we've all seen him do a million times. It's 4-all. There's men on the corners. The crowd is going crazy. But did not get it done. Now Lee Zakaria right behind him, who is also their best hitter in their lineup. I mean, these are their 2 main guys. 1-1 count, grounds out to the pitcher.
Wow.
So nobody in the field even had to make a play. Both plays handled by Jeffrey Saka, by the 2 best guys. Lee did hit well in this doubleheader. I was there. I saw a lot of it. He was driving the ball, but in this ever key important at bat, couldn't get it done.
Yeah. In the first game, we mentioned Elliott Sack with a monster 2-run homer, continuing his outstanding season. But the 2 franchises going in the opposite directions right now.
Yes. It looks like Magical Mystery Tour is not going to stop anytime soon. They seem to be getting along. Jeffrey, even if he slows down a little bit, because who could pitch a shutout every week?
Yeah.
But so even if he slows down a little bit, they have not yet reached, what they could reach on offense. They're not scoring a ton of runs, and I think
they have good
score.
bats. Yeah,
they have the bats to do it. Steven, I don't think, is doing what he can do yet. Right. So they have the ability to keep this up, in my opinion. And I think they will. I think they're going to cruise right into the playoffs, obviously.
Yeah, I think we'd both be shocked if they're not the number 1 seed.
Yeah, they'll definitely get one of the 2 byes. I'd be very surprised if they didn't. I mean, although we have seen teams in this league, just last year we had an 8-1 team that started to flounder. So you never know, but this team looks a little too strong.
They're no doubt they're the most balanced team that we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, in the league, so, and it's a credit to Max and his brother putting together this organization. But ironically, Trader Jack stood pat during the trading deadline.
Very ironic, because all he did was make trades before the draft. He made a couple of moves. He got the best, or so we thought, of the A team, and he got the, he was talking to everybody and anybody, and it seemed like he was going to make a deal before the deadline. Yes. And there were rumors abound about anybody and everybody.
Really? All the players, it was like everybody's available for...
Well, not everybody, because they do have a couple of guys that they're related to.
It seems like too many of them.
Right. But I did hear a couple of, third baseman and right fielders, and for a couple of odds and ends that were available. But Trader Jack did not pull the trigger. I guess he didn't see a deal that he liked. He did have the pickup. Jacob Cohen went down. He picked up Michael Risty.
Well, Michael Risty is clearly overmatched right now. I mean, when you've been out of the league for 3-4 years, in your first 2 weeks, you got to go up against Ralph Hannon and Jeffrey Sackett. The Rude Awakening.
Those are two tough pitchers, man. I played them both already. I mean, that's a tough way to start your career. So
you have swung a bat for a few years. It's not the best way to start.
Now, here's the thing. They're 2-6. It's getting late. They cannot get swept again and fall to 2-8,
Yeah.
At the same time, it's only halfway through, so if you can go 2-6, you can go 6-2.
Yeah.
You have time to turn it around, but you don't have that much time because you got to assume, usually in this league, 500 is what gets you in.
6 out of 9 teams, you figure 8-8 probably will get you in. Maybe you'll sneak it at 7-9.
Right. So they got to start winning games, and they got to do something drastic. If I was running that team, I'd change the whole lineup from top to bottom just to change it, just to put some life into it.
Yeah. Well, really, the table setters are not getting on, so that's not really helping the cause.
And the cleanup hitters are not cleaning up, so those two things are a problem.
Really, it seems like Mikey's the only one doing anything.
Mikey's the only one. That's what it seems like. They must be fielding well behind him as well.
No, they are. They have a great defense.
I mean, you have Jaime at third, as good as it gets. Eddie Rishley at short, as good as anybody. Lee at second. That's a great infield right there.
We said before the year started was one of the best.
One of their disappointments is Nathan Zolta in left field. I think he's playing fine in left, but he's a bat that is supposed to be their power bat. He's
coming off a MVP type year last year.
He was unbelievable on Michelin's team, the Cardinals last year. He was hitting the ball to left, to right, everything. And I don't know what happened to him this year.
Well, he unfortunately, he did get married in the offseason.
Fortunately, he's still only married 1 year.
So he's in the honeymoon stage where he put on the extra pounds and slow down a little bit.
So now on Sunday, I see him flying out all day long, lazy fly balls. Finally, he connects with one. Long drive. This is going to be a 2-run homer, no doubt about it. Zach Ashkenazi running full speed into the left center gap, reaches out, makes the grab. So, he finally connected on one, but you're playing a really good team.
Yeah, now listen, and Jeffrey Sacker loves young, fast outfielders, and that's the way of the future for the league. So, really, they're going to have to figure it out, starting with the next matchup after the bye week next week. The Magical Mystery Tour, the way the schedule works out, are all for 3 weeks now. So they could lose maybe a little momentum.
They might lose a little momentum. It's
June
a
7th.
long break till June 7th. Rockford is in a similar position. We had the break and then the Shavuot, so we are also off for 20 days in a row. So it is a long time. Everyone's itching to get back. But Magical Mystery might have that makeup game depending on scheduling.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be this Friday, just for the problem getting all the teams together, both teams together. So,
but if they could schedule something, they have a game all of a sudden, so that can work out for them actually.
Right.
Now I thought the Turtles had a bad break in the schedule that after their bye, which came after the sweep to Saban, they had to face Magical Mystery. That's a tough matchup, but I think they get a break now in that they're desperate for a win and they're playing a who cares team that is in complete disarray for totally different reasons.
Yeah, but I think they got the biggest break of the year when you're playing a very good Saban team, missing practically the whole outfield.
That's right.
So they really they should have swept that series, no question. The doubleheader. I mean, they ended up getting swept.
They ended up getting that. May be
that might be the downfall. I mean, you don't even walk away with a win with a team that's.
And they yet to recover. That's 4 games in a row now. They were 2-2. They're now 2-6.
I can understand getting swept against this team, but Whiplash was no excuse missing the whole team. But so they're gonna have to figure out very quickly, what to do on the 31st.
Trader Jack is going to have to get creative with his co-captain Sonny, and they're going to have to figure out how to infuse some life into this team.
Yeah, there's been rumors that Turtle ownership is a little unhappy with Trader Jack.
Really?
Yes. With some of the moves, spent a lot of money in acquiring talent.
So maybe the GM will be like the Marlins.
Another Jeffrey Lurie,
Right.
give him his walking papers.
That would be interesting because Trader Jack arrived on the scene as this players manager who's going to get things done, and now he's already on the hot seat.
Yeah,
at the halfway
spent
point
a lot of
of the
money
season.
to put this organization and line up together, and it's not working out right now.
So we will see what
somebody's gonna
happens. You got to think they have enough experience on that team to be able to turn this around.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's hard to see.
Sometimes you just don't have enough bats. You know, we're talking about it the last couple of weeks. Nathan and some of the guys in the league, how difficult it's become to score runs in the league.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I remember years ago there was not all-stars at third base, right?
Even if you did have Jordy at third, you had Jason Sullivan, it was second and short center where you had guys over.
Now you're talking Moni's playing second this year with Lee. Irving is a phenomenal second baseman. Carlos is my second baseman. All of a sudden you have these guys playing second. Every third baseman in this league is phenomenal. Shortstop, you don't even have to talk about it. Left field is like center field on almost every team.
You know, back in the day, the starting outfield was average 35 to 40 years old, and that was a great team. You know, the team with Jackie Braha and David Frank and Eshko, they were already in their 30s.
Yeah.
So now you're talking that, you got guys 23, 24. It's impossible. It's very hard to get hits. Nothing falls in.
Right. Now, the difference is that the young guys don't know where to throw the ball.
Yeah, well, the fundamentals.
The fundamentals are very bad, I feel. But the talent is better than ever.
No, the talent is incredible. But the ironic part about it, everybody talks about how weak the pitching is. I mean, really, you don't have to be a lights-out pitcher with
great defenses. Great defenses.
So,
that's a great point. And that is why the pitcher is dropped in the draft. Because if you have a great defense, you just need a strike thrower on the mound that you hope can get it done.
I'm telling you, the Meyer-Safdie route is the wave of the future.
We hope so. Yeah. We hope it's the wave of the present.
So definitely you see so many low-scoring. I mean, you would not see 3 shutouts
in
a whole year between the whole league, and let alone Jeffrey Sackett's 3 shutouts. And a lot of 1-0 games, 2-1 games.
It's sort of enjoyable. The games are intense.
The defense is just incredible. I mean, that's been the main thing. Now let's shoot over to the other side, to Memorial 2, where this game was rescheduled from Memorial 3.
Although originally scheduled at 2 on the schedule, then moved to 3, now back at 2.
Basically for ticket demand to see Alley versus Maurice Haber's team. So we had the Royals versus the A team.
Yes.
Which is probably the most inappropriate name. It should be the F team because this team really, the A should stand for absent. Because you talk about struggling teams like the Turtles. This team is just 3-7, and and then at least the Turtles have 2 less games. They have more chance to make it up.
Right.
But really, not a good team. I don't know if they have enough to turn it around at this point.
Well, Allie made his trades at the draft. Speaking of the Turtles, they got the best of it with the blockbuster trade. And then Allie made
We're still trying to figure out that trade.
So no one knows what happened, but apparently Allie didn't do too well in the trade with the Fifth Avenue salesman, as he says. So then he made another trade during the draft with Haber, where he moved up from the 8 to the 6 or something like that, and he drafted his man JT.
Right.
But JT this year so far is not producing for him. So that is a major kink in the armor, as they say, in Allie's grand plan to have him and JT together.
He might have got him anyway. That's the thing. If he didn't switch 8 to 6, but who knows? JT always going to get the defense, no question about that. But really, you have a lot of guys we talked about. We said about this team going in, it was a veteran-laden team.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys are in their 40s, which I don't know if that's good at this point in the way the league is. Ralph Sutton, probably one of the younger guys in the league, 22, 23 years old as a pitcher. He's been pitching okay.
He's pitching well. Their defense seems like their D is okay. It just seems that their offense is not clicking. They obviously have the guys that can hit, but they can't get JT and Ali and Big Soli and Braca and David Rishti to get hits at the same time.
Yeah.
Just last week, we were talking, Big Soli went 5 for 6, but only had 1 RBI because no one is on base in front of him. This week, Ali was being walked intentionally all day, and Big Soli was not getting the hits this time. So that's what happens on teams that are struggling. You can't get the hit at the right time.
Right.
You know, in a 1-all game, they walked Ali to load the bases, and Big Sol grounded into a double play. Whereas last week, he was getting the hits, but no one was getting on in front of him. So that's A. The big guy is not getting the hits at the same time, which is so key for a team. And there's no way to figure that out when you're drafting. You know, like, how do you know if you're just going to have that magic to be able to get the hits when you need them?
You don't know. I mean, Brack had a great year last year, not having the same year this year. You know, David Rishti always produces, always been a 450 hitter. So really, you know, now they got 6 games left to try to figure something out. Might have to go 5-1 or something to that. You know,
their other issue is the bottom of their lineup is not that good, and they're not able to get somebody, including former analyst Douglas. They got to get somebody that's going to extend their lineup a little bit. You know, it can't end at the 5 batter because you have the whole 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till you get to the 1 again. You know, that's a long time.
Yeah. Well, clearly our former analyst is not happy with the situation. Extremely, feels he should be playing the field. He says DHing does not suit him. That's why he's hitting and grounding into double plays.
Another double play.
Yeah.
Culprit. Well, Douglas is boxed out because Sifu is playing second and David Rishti is playing first, and Douglas is left without a position. And he always loves mocking the catchers in the league, but perhaps he should grab a desk.
That's he doesn't like to crouch either, but we'll see. Douglas feels he should be playing either first or second. But ironically, second game we mentioned was a 1-1 game in the 5th inning, and the Royals had a runner on second, and there was a ground ball hit to the right side, which David Rishti probably should have fielded. Instead, he let it go. So Adam Marshall fielded the ball and flipped to the pitcher, but he didn't give the pitcher enough time to get there. So the ball went out of play, and the run scored from second, and that was the go-ahead run. That
was a winning run. Now, Douglas said if he was playing first, he would have fielded it and got the guy out. And if he was playing second, he would have fielded it and thrown the guy out. But he was playing neither, and so Sifu and Rishti let that ball get the best of them, and that was the difference in the game. And suddenly, our friend Maurice Haber, winner of 3 games in a row, is now 5-5 in Kansas City.
Yes, he probably saved his job also. A lot of rumors about his demise over in the Midwest. Ironically, funny situation. I get caught at the end of that game. It was 2 outs, nobody on base at the bottom of the 7th. Sure enough, guess who's up for the A team?
2 outs? I'll say Ali is probably up. Yes. Okay.
There was actually some discussion. As crazy as it sounded, like, I mean, the pitcher came in, they were talking, the shortstop came in, of actually walking Ali.
So now they're down a run, Ali. Last like 2 outs, nobody on. No, they were going to walk him.
They didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know why they even possessed them to think that put the fielders all the way to Memorial.
I play the guys in the trees, 4 outfielders, and give him the signal. If he's going to get it, maybe he'll ground out to somebody. You know?
I mean, you figure Ali with the best case scenario would be Ali get a base hit, and they're playing so deep, get the second, at least Soli would be up with the tying run on second. He smoked on base at the right field, but he only could get the first base, and then Soli got out. But it's amazing the threat of Ali Marshall.
It's amazing. You always know when he's coming up, where he is in the lineup. But it's baseball, and you can't do it alone.
No, you can't. And so again, he only comes up once every 10 times. So you really. But so that team really struggling. The Royals got a couple of huge victories, and they're back on the bandwagon of loving each other. Malak and Jimmy were,
Malak and Haber,
and then Haber were exchanging hugs. And,
yes, Malak was also on the trade deadline of the rumor mill, back and forth.
Maurice was very active, as he always is.
And did nothing.
And did nothing.
As he always does.
Yeah. So and he gets shocked when people turn down trades. I mean, I couldn't believe they turned down Murray Towell for Shama. So you know, he's clearly now everybody's back. I'll tell you one thing: Jackie Haber might be one of the top 10, 15 players in the league.
It's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. Last year was his breakout year on the Untouchables. What a huge part of that championship team he was. And that's the key thing. Is it a one and done, or is he going to elevate it next year?
He's a hitter. I mean, he's not only that, but we talked about, we talked about earlier about, positions. He is like, he's as good as having a great left fielder on your team. I mean, at short center field, he makes everything there.
Makes every play.
And that much action is up the middle so much, So he's really redefined that position.
Let us not forget how good of a hitter Haber was back in his day. He was a monster in his day.
Were you born at that time?
I was not born, but I watched the Betamax.
RBJ told you?
Yeah. Haber was a dominant hitter.
Yeah.
I believe he led the league in hitting a few times. And, so.
He didn't keep stats, but.
By the way, at 50 years old, he's still batting cleanup in his lineup.
Well, he's the captain. No, he's still got a great bat.
I mean, he still has the bat. He brings a lot of extra action to the game. So, sometimes that kills his team.
And he actually plays pretty good first base. So, the team. Ironically, when we talked about this team before the year started, they had the big bats. And we should talk also about Max Shadid. It's really become an elite pitcher in the league, outstanding again this year. But their defense is really what's been winning them games. Yeah,
they have a strong D. They have the who's their third baseman?
Harari.
Yeah, so they have Harari at third, Eshko at short, Jackie Haber right up the middle. They got Maurice on the right side.
Playing second, and the outfield is
Malak, of course, made that famous tag on Jackie Eshko when his friend Kevin called him safe and in the baseline. They win that game, by the way.
Yeah.
They're 6-4. They're talking by.
Maurice never want to shy away from controversy. He says he should be right now 8-0. So
right.
I guess he's the only one who doesn't get breaks.
Well, they're winners of 3 in a row. They're one of the hotter teams in the league right now. They have to be feeling great to go from the cellar to the middle of the pack, and I'm sure they don't want to stop.
And again, we talk about just like Magical Mystery Tour, they have an elite pitcher, which is always going to give up 2-3 runs a game, and so they're clearly a team to be reckoned with the rest of the
I
game.
think so. I think so. We thought so at the draft for different reasons, maybe, but we thought so at the draft, and they started off bad. They didn't even start off really that bad. They lost a couple of close games, and boom, they're right back in it. They recovered.
But that's all you need right now to be 5-5. So now let's shoot over to the other side of town to
friendly confines.
Fireman's West.
Okay.
The Rockies home away from home.
Yeah.
But we had over there the Angels against Who Cares, and really the Angels had to come into this matchup feeling pretty good about the situation. First of all, I'd like to mention before we go on about Who Cares.
Yeah.
Sammy Towell, obviously the captain of that team. His wife hasn't been feeling well, and so please everybody, we've been saying Tehillim on the field. Say your prayers over the holiday. Her name's Jacqueline Bat Leah. She can just thank God she's been recovering slow. It's a long process, according to Sammy, but hopefully she continues to improve every day, and I'm sure with everybody's blessings she will. So once again, Sammy and the son were not there.
Which, of course, our heart goes out to Sammy. Sammy probably has not missed a game in softball in 25 years.
Yeah.
He's there, rain or shine. So, we wish him the best. But, they got the replacements. For Sammy.
The league gave a couple of replacements. One by former analyst's son, Victor Dweck.
Okay.
Which I don't even know what position you would call him. He's like, he probably played every position.
He can play where you need him to play. I've seen him play third. I've seen him play first.
He's literally played short, second, center field. Really, besides pitching, I think he played every position. And Leo Pichotto, who's supposedly was taking a year off, but now is
he's back. He almost won the MVP last year. He had that crazy good year on Sammy Towell's team.
Right.
Yeah. So
they. They acquired, but again, their problem, still the pitching situation was not resolved. And then you're coming off, facing a team with an incredible lineup. I still think the best lineup in the league.
Well, Sam Michon is putting together a year that, I heard he hit a ball off the fence in Diamonds West, if you know,
No.
the picture of it in left field.
Not even that. It was 20 feet past the foul pole.
I mean,
if the tennis court fence continued, it would have been 20 feet over the 10 feet over the tennis.
I cannot believe it.
It was a monster shot. I mean, he put everything into it, and a laser, just incredible. He was 7 for 7 on the day, by the way.
Wow!
Yeah,
I assume you're announcing Player of the Week.
He was definitely Player of the Week, and so I got to believe he's right up there for MVP. He's having an outstanding year. We were concerned about how we would handle center field playing.
But it's funny, he's injured, so he can't throw the ball. He's throwing the ball underhand from center field. It's crazy.
I didn't know that he is.
Yeah.
Really?
He cannot throw the ball.
Rotated?
It must be something, but it's clearly not affecting his bat because he's hitting the ball over the tennis court.
So you tell me if there's a base hit to the outfield, he cannot.
He like sort of sidearms it or he underhands it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know he had injury. That's interesting. But it's not obviously not affecting his swing.
Clearly.
Now he's been hitting some ridiculous shots. I mean.
Now this lineup is so good that Jackie Bawabe gave up double-digit walks in Game 1, and they still managed to win the game.
Well, I don't know about the interesting thing about it. I don't know if you know this. Bawabe was getting pitching tips from Lavora before the game started. So he was taking it to heart. He took it very seriously and walked 14. Then
it's just a bizarre.
He was a good teacher, Lavora.
Now, Mavor did not hit. Usually until this week, Mavor has been pitching one of the 2 games. He was usually pitching Game 1 and Salim pitching Game 2. But this week, with I believe Jordy is calling the shots now, and he put Mavora on first base, and Salim pitched both games.
Yeah, so definitely, it looks like his pitching career is probably done in the YMSL. I would imagine. But the lineup, I mean, he hit Gamal, Eliezer. They were hitting the ball extremely hard. This game. The
thing with their lineup, and I played them last week, is that yes, they have those great hitters, but their lineup never ends.
Yeah.
Then you have Michon. Then you have
Wasser.
Then you got Mark Braha. Then you got Lewis, who is like it never ends.
I know.
Let's
not forget Nebby hitting outstanding.
Yeah, and then you get it never ends, and then all of a sudden you're at the top of the lineup again. It's relentless.
I mean, Michon, I don't even know what number Michon is, but it could be 6 or 7.
It could be 6, it could be 2, it could be anywhere.
Ridiculous.
So
and they're putting it together.
But the only thing is, Bawabe can't walk 10 guys in a game.
That's going to be a problem.
You're going to lose that.
That's going to be a problem.
And in fact, who cares? Could have won Game 1. I mean,
they battled back. I believe it was 9-7 the final.
Avi Dweck was up with the bases loaded at the end of that game. So base it there, and you're talking, Angels getting swept. But the thing is, Angels don't get swept, and they don't sweep.
Now, the thing is, Moses, he's gotten much better, and he's going to have the week off this week for Shavuot. So you think about the 31st, they'll be ready to go, which definitely helped them. But you are losing defensively with Bawabe on the pitcher's mound. But I guess, it's something that he clearly cannot walk all these guys. And it really, and this is a guy who just won a championship last year. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, although he was walking people last year also, but nothing to this extent.
I'm wondering if Michon considered bringing in Nebby.
Actually, in Game
Bawabe
2,
first.
he pulled Bawabe, but he did not bring in Nebby. I believe he brought himself in.
Oh, really?
To pitch at the end of Game 2, yes.
Oh,
so, wow. It was getting crazy, and they got the split.
Well, they were down 8-0 very early.
Exactly.
So he must have walked over 20 on the day.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling. But who cares, really, with all the turmoil and with all the situations going on with the franchise, there's only 3 and 4. I mean, with a makeup game to play. So they're really very much in it. But, again, we don't know how long the Sammy Towell situation is going to play out. We don't know the pitching situation. I guess, Salim's going to be the pitcher the rest of the way, but
I think there's too much odds and ends, too many issues with this team. They have talent. I love this team in the beginning of the year, but obviously no one can predict the future. Now they're missing Sammy and his son, which is a key part of the team also. You know, so you're missing your two guys. Even if you get replacements, did the replacement play? Do you know the guy? It's like a whole different.
Well, you also have Sammy brings the intangibles of being a veteran, a captain, gives everybody a fair chance.
You know, he won 41 Gold Gloves in 26 years. Yes, so
maybe he counts the split season. He won the first.
He's also patented a line drive down left and a line drive down right field line. Those are both patent pending, I believe. So you know, you're missing that, but. Then the whole pitching situation, you know, you give Mavora the ball and say you're the pitcher, and whether you walk 100 guys or you give him 100 runs, you're the pitcher, and then see if he's going to be good, or do you go with Salim? Or
they gave him a few chances and it didn't pan out, and I think he's basically said that he's not going to pitch anymore. So I mean,
I don't know what's going on in that locker room without Sammy there, and now Jordy's running the team. I think that between the makeup game and then playing the Desperate Turtles, not to jump ahead, I think this team might be in trouble. But very good point by you. They're 3-4 after all this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not the 3-7 to 6. I mean,
they might feel like they are, but they're really not. They're right there.
You know, I didn't give them a shot this week, but again, you know, you never know what happens every week in the YMSL. So we'll talk about their next matchup, but clearly I think there's also a little tension with the veterans not getting the respect, you know, that Jordy's the captain. So there could be another issue that's going on.
So who else is wanting to be the captain?
Well, we don't have to mention names, but I think it's pretty obvious. You know, somebody who texts 42,000 times a day. Well, we won't get into names, but so we'll see what happens in the coming week with those guys. But
it should be interesting. I'm sure scheduling a makeup game is not easy with the characters involved on both sides, you know. And but hopefully that game gets played quickly so the standings could start balancing out. And you know, and then they're onto the Turtles, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But I think they're in trouble. Who cares?
Well, it's just a lot of instability there. So, you know, we just it's definitely not a team that you would say like it's, even though they're close to 500, that they're headed in the right direction.
Right.
Let's go on the other side of Fireman's East, where we have another one of the top teams in the league, Whiplash.
Yes.
Who finally has a full team this coming week. Minus one guy who left early, oddly enough, and that's Captain Saban himself.
Yes, Mount Kilimanjaro himself had to leave. He had a
Mount Saban had a Torah. Now, if you said these words 15 years ago, Mount Saban with a Torah dedication.
Yes. You think you said Mount Sinai or something, not Mount Saban.
Actually, claims he actually wrote in a letter in the Torah.
Really?
Yeah. That's
okay.
What he claims, you know? So.
Well, which shul
that's going to be, and we don't know yet. But, against A.B. Sackers and Jack Jamal's Leonard Skinner team. So this was an interesting matchup. Leonard Skinner jumped way ahead of Ralph Hannon with a 6-1 lead in the fifth inning. And, you know, so I guess they were pretty confident with A.B. on the mound that they were going to hold on. They chipped away. They got a great lineup also, Whiplash.
Yeah, they do.
Got it to 6-5, and that's when Saban exited, and he basically left a couple of choice words for them if they don't win the game.
But don't worry about it because A.B. Salem came in
the Wally Pip now with it.
Yes. Yes.
A.B. Salem took over at first base and proceeded. They had a big triple, which led them to score a few runs, and they ended up winning game 1,
Amazing.
9-7.
Now that
again shorthanded, and you know, and held on for that victory with A.B. Sacker with a 6-1 lead. Really,
wild
money in the bank, you would think.
Wild, but remember, he started later than everybody else. He's first getting, you know, it was only his 3rd game of the year, so you know he's not in midseason form yet. And Whiplash seems to have the knack to play their best when they're shorthanded. You know, they keep winning games without their full team. So amazing comeback against good defensive
It's a great pitcher also.
and a great pitcher. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, no, nobody did. I mean, just unbelievable. So you'd think the momentum would carry into Game 2, but as is with A.B. Saka, he bears down and settles, doesn't let anything affect them, and they proceeded to win Game 2 to earn a split. And really, Marty, there's a lot of talk before the trade deadline. A.B. Saka's name was actually mentioned.
Yes, randomly,
before he even played a game.
Yeah.
To be traded, and Marty, with his veteran leadership, says we're 2-2. All I got to do is probably go 500 the rest of the way to the playoffs, and then I have the best playoff pitcher around.
100%.
That's all I need.
He's so right, in my opinion. Maybe they could have traded Eshko, made Eshko a little happier, and gotten a different player for Eshko. But to trade A.B. Saka, who you used the third round pick on him,
it didn't make any sense to me. But
just be thrilled that you survived without him at 2-2.
Right.
You were 2-0. You thought you were never going to lose.
0-4, I can understand, but 2-2 without him, and then even if they go up against a magical mystery tour team,
they still have A.B. Saka.
The short series, anything can happen.
100%, and I want the ball in A.B. Saka's hand in the playoffs. So Marty is right. Jack and Morris were, I believe, pushing to get Jimmy Malak or all these other rumors that everyone was hearing all around town. But then other rumors had Morris going in a blockbuster trade also. So who knows what to believe.
Right.
But I was surprised that Eshko did not get traded, especially to either Mishon's team, or to the Who Cares team. Those guys, they need a pitcher.
Yeah.
Eshko was available.
I don't know. I don't know. They knew the extent of Moses' injury, and he was pitching good. I don't know, or maybe the players that were asking back. But it's very hard to make a trade.
It's hard to make a deal. Very hard to make.
And then plus it became, instead of 2 teams, the third team wanted to get involved. It's impossible. It's hard enough to make a trade, but and they're really right in the thick of things now. It's still at
100%. They keep
3-3.
They actually got swept, and now split. Now split 2 weeks in a row, I guess. Right? They're 4-4. It's funny that Mishon's team has not swept or gotten swept.
No, they've been split every single week.
Every single week.
But he did that a lot last year. I think 6 out of the 8 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, the first.
It's very hard to sweep in this league. It's very hard. You would think you have the momentum, but I don't know.
Yeah, and no matter how dramatic the first game could be a walk-off, the teams rebound somehow.
Didn't Haber have a game where he won like 17-1, and then he lost game 2? Actually, he lost 2-1 again.
He lost to the Angel team with 8 guys. They had,
right. So
with there was Mercy the first game. So. So a little bit of a surprise there with that victory. Whiplash, I guess, thought they would win easily. So now we're starting to see the standings take shape, and now we're going to look at the games of the 31st, which is coming off the holiday,
the long break. Thankfully, we played this past week. Otherwise, we would have really all had a very, very long break. And so thankfully the fields got good, and we just missed the one shot walk week, and we're back at it.
Yeah, so far, thank God, the weather's been holding up very nice.
Thank God.
We're waiting for those 80-degree days again. Now, this is you probably got this team right where you want them at Fireman's West, where Maurice Haber's Royals come into town to face the Rockford Peaches.
Yes, Maurice Haber is the hottest team in the league on a 3-game winning streak. I guess Jeff Saka's team is a little hotter than that, but yes, Fireman's West is exactly where we want to be, and I'm expecting 2 very well played games. What do you think?
I think it's definitely going to be a heated contest because it's going to be very anti-Maurice Haber sentiments in the stands.
Well, last year, Haber actually threw the ball at my foot, and we were playing the game in Meadowbrook in a week where there was partial games. There was only like 2 or 3 games played that week. 0-0 game between Eshko and Mikey last year into the 14th inning. One of the most epic games ever, and Haber took the ball and threw it at me during a controversial moment. So, you know, there's definitely bad blood there, and we will see what happens. But the crowd will be a Rockford crowd.
Well, it'll be a Rockford crowd, and there's one thing about Rockford crowd. It's a very young crowd, and some of the toddlers have been known to get on Maurice Haber also. So
yes,
could be. And we're able to answer them back also.
Well, we have RBJ, who's 70, and then we have my daughter, who's 3. So,
and Paulette's been known to throw it.
Yes.
Big Paulette, little Paulette also.
Exactly.
So it's not going to be easy for Maurice. But I think they're going to find a way to win one, and I think there's going to be a split. I think they're I think you guys tough to get swept, and I think they're too tough. I see a split and 2 very well played games.
I hope so.
And low scoring games.
As long as we play right and you know, we're on our fundamentals and you know we're doing what we need to do. I'm obviously hoping for a sweep, but it's very tough to sweep in this league.
Yeah.
It's been well documented, and this team is a really good team. And Maxi Deed, like you said,
it's been lights out. And again, you're going to be coming off of 3 week
long
break,
yeah.
So you might have to throw in a practice before that.
We just might,
you know, get the cages maybe.
Yes,
Keep them loose. Hopefully, Myers' beard will be off by then.
It's off, thank God.
Won't get dehydrated for the 8th week in a row. They broke the all-time YNSL dehydration.
It's off the wall. Vegas is not even offering the bet will he collapse. It's like when. Game 1 or game 2?
He's the only guy that dehydrated in 42-degree weather. Amazing. So now we'll shoot to the other side of Fireman's West, which is not an epic matchup. It's the Turtles versus Who Cares.
Yes.
Not really much on paper there. You know, probably might be blacked out
and local.
But I'll tell you, if any team. Either one of these teams needs a break. They got it. They're playing each other. So
right.
So really, the Turtles could bounce back with a sweep. And Who Cares could you know, maybe if they find a team with no bats, they could find a way to get a couple of victories. We don't know if St. Vital will be back by then. We don't know the situation. But I think the Turtles are going to rebound this week.
You do?
Yeah. I think they're going to put it together because obviously they don't give up much runs,
right.
You know. So I think the defense is always going to be there. They'll find a way to muster up the 2-3 runs and beat Who Cares, whoever's pitching.
Okay, so I thought I was going to go out on the ledge and make that prediction. I absolutely agree with you. I think Who Cares is in disarray for many different reasons. You know, and their whole pitching situation, if Sammy and his son are going to be there or not. And the Turtles should be a lot better than 2-6. So I think they're going to sweep Who Cares this week. I also think if they play the makeup game, Who Cares is going to lose that one also. So I have 3 losses for Who Cares and 2 wins for the Turtles by the time we meet again.
I don't know if that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. All right, so we're in agreement on that. Over at Memorial 1, we have A.B. Sackers, Leonard Skinnerd versus the Angels, which could be the return of Moses.
Okay, return of Moses from the second trip up Sinai, the second tablets on Shavuot.
Yeah, I'm going to see the same thing that's been a trend for the Angels all year. I'm going to see another split. I don't know. I don't feel as good as their lineup is. I think their pitching situation is not going to allow them to sweep anybody. So,
listen,
is too tough.
You'd be crazy to predict anything else. They're both 500 teams.
Yeah.
Angels have split every single week, so they'll split again. Why not? And it seems that Skinner also, you know, is at 500. So I'll go also with the split.
Yeah. Over at Memorial 2, this is a rough matchup. A team to go up against Saban's Whiplash. You would think they're going to be, full squad at this week, but I don't know. I don't like it.
You don't like it for the A team, huh?
I don't like it, and I think they could be 3-9 by the time this is all said.
That does not sound good. 3-9.
No,
that's a bad record. 3-9.
Honestly, I hope they do eke out at least one, and somehow, just for parity purposes, and keep it competitive. But it's a tough pitcher and a tough team to go up against.
There's something about Memorial 2 all the way there, hot and wet and everything. I don't know that Whiplash can play their best game over there. I don't know why. There's just something about that field that has me thinking.
Can Whiplash borrow the tent from the organization?
That tent is broken. That tent is gone.
All right.
We didn't know how to fold it.
Okay.
So I think that the A team with their backs against the wall are going to somehow win a game against a very good Whiplash team. I see a split over there.
You do? So, well, I hope you're right, because I really hope, for Allie's sake, he finds a way to win. But, Whiplash, again, haven't really played with a full squad, so we don't even know what they're capable of when they're there.
Exactly. And when they have 12, Saban's got to deal with getting everybody in and seeing how
he
that
doesn't care. He
works.
just won't put them in.
Right. Okay, fine. But then you got to deal with that. Let's see how he is with a full squad. And, people that were filling in did a good job. They want to still play, the outfield. Or, like Hanono, we mentioned 1 week, played a great outfield. And now, I don't know if he's playing right or if he's playing at all. I don't know what the deal is there. But Saban's got to manage his full squad now. And we'll see how they do. They went 5-3 so far at the midway point, so They're looking really good right now. I just think that A team has enough to get something done here. I don't think they're just going to die away with this.
No, listen, they're still going to have all veterans there. They're going to play hard. They might not have enough to beat a deeper team, a better team.
If they get swept now, 3-9, they're saying they have to run the table and sweep the final 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they still have to hope that they get in at 7-9. They cannot get swept now.
Right.
They can't do it. They get swept now, it's done.
Yeah, listen, you would think sooner or later JT's going to come out of his funk. And,
he needs to go 5-7 already, and
But I think the bats of Whiplash could really do some damage to Ralph Sutton. I mean, he's they got some major bats in that lineup. So, but I don't know which week, but I believe. Fark is missing another week, but I think it's later on in the season. And Jake Dweck is missing another week. So we'll see what happens with that. But Whiplash, doesn't matter who's missing. They seem to find ways to win.
Yeah, listen, there's definitely desperation right now for the Turtles and for the A team. Right now, they know they're at the bottom of the pack. They must get at least a split, but I think the Turtles have a golden opportunity to sweep this week. Like you do as well, and I really hope the A team doesn't get swept. If they do, they're done.
Oh no, there's no question about it.
It's very early to be done.
And honestly, the Turtles could be done too at 2-8.
At 2-8, yeah.
I get that I have to run the table and go 6-0, but I guess
right. The problem with the A team is if they get swept, they have to run the table, and they're still done at 7-9.
No, it'll be 8-8 at that point. They run the table.
No, if they get swept this week,
they'll be 2-8, and they have to go 6-0.
Right.
8-8.
So.
But I mean, we just talked about how hard it is to sweep. So
exactly. Now you have a team that wants 3 games.
They got 3 weeks in a row, and it's almost impossible to do. So let's see who's matchups they have left after that. The Turtles. Well, then they have to go up against A.B. Saka, with your team, and
Rockford,
and then the Royals. So clearly, it does not get easier. This is really the week they got to start.
Wow, they have to win both games. The Turtles this week. They really do. They're going up against A.B. Saka. You're not going to sweep him. You don't think?
And you're definitely not going to score much off them. So
right.
Struggling offense.
And then Rockford, and then the Royals, who are resurgent.
Yeah.
That's a tough final 3 weeks for them.
Now, I'll tell you one thing. If it comes down to the last week of the year and Turtles have to go up against the Royals for a playoff spot, and they're both teams fighting for, they could be some major
Oh
fireworks.
my goodness!
Those two franchises.
You got to get that game off of West. You can't have that game on West
They
with
cannot be
the
the playground.
friendly confines.
Yeah,
No.
put that in two.
It's right.
Two, and now nobody on one. That's that game. I mean, there could be some fireworks like galore in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, get it with it. Heated personalities on both those teams.
It'd be good if that game actually meant like one team getting in, one team
That's what
not
I'm
getting
saying.
in.
I mean, it's,
You know?
or both of them. I mean, it both
Be great.
It'd be unbelievable. The ratings.
Bonanza.
We'll have to televise it on mute, but definitely be a good game. So I think the Turtles are just hoping to even be in that position.
I think so. I think so. I guess I believe the Turtles will sweep this week, but then I don't like those final three matchups for them.
Yeah.
What you just said, those final three: AB Saka, then Rockford, then Royals. That's a tough road ahead for them.
And let's just see quickly what the A team's got after this week. The A team.
They're playing Whiplash now, which is no picnic.
Oh, they have a bye on the 7th. And
Okay.
then, so we know they won't lose 2 that way. And then the Angels the week after that.
Tough.
Very tough with that lineup. And Whiplash.
And then us, I didn't play them yet.
No, I'm sorry. The A team. The A team has a bye week the last year, so they might not. If they're out of it, then they could be out of it a week before everybody else.
Oh, they have the bye the last week.
Oh, so actually the A team plays. Oh, you next week on the 7th. After the week after the 31st. So,
Right.
so they got to go up against you.
Whiplash first.
Whiplash. Oh, that's it. The season will be done. They played 10 games already. So after this week, they have you and Whiplash. So they got clearly a very tough 6 games left. They played 10 already. That's why.
And then the Angels on the 14th. So they
that's
play.
their last regular season.
Right, and then they're off on the 21st, which is probably a blessing for the league. You know, we'll send
Don't have
out
to
the
worry.
early. Right. Don't have to worry about a team not showing up and all that.
So this week, I mean, really, they supposedly they went through their easy part of the schedule, but I mean, this is a very tough. Whiplash, Peaches, and the Angels to finish the year.
Tough.
So, I don't know how you're going to go, 5-1 against that, but you're going to really earn your playoff.
They have to turn it around quick, and if they get in, they'll be the hottest team getting into the playoffs. That's for sure.
Maybe Allie's going to need the help of some Fifth Avenue salesmen.
Maybe.
To bail out of this. So we'd like to wish everybody a happy Shavuot.
Yes, you too.
And well-needed rest for the YMSL and the crew. And once again, we send our best wishes to Sammy and his wife Jacqueline, and please continue to pray for her, Jacqueline Batleah. And we hope to see everybody back in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Thank you very much.